Hello everybody, this is Yahushua, I'm the production supplier who was working like the night all day to pick up his take of Yahushua Mashiach all day every day. Yahuwah is Yahushua in the flesh. Yes, okay. If you really want to go down to the truth about translations and stuff, yeah, we all know. We have the Ruach HaKodesh, so no matter which translation we use, as long as it's filled with the Ruach HaKodesh, we understand it already, but my Ruach is leading me through this stuff the one I want to expose, because here is stuff. Since there was no letter J, E, W, O, or V and I, or F, so who is James then? Or well said, King James, So then we must translate his name. Instead of king, we must turn the I to an Y, and then we must turn James, the letter J, to a Y, And since there was no E, so then we must turn it as an A. Then it's standing there, James, King James, you see? Okay, so once you do that stuff, for example, see K, Y, N, G instead of king, and instead of J, James, we do a Y, A, M, instead of A, E, instead of E, we still use A, and S. You see? That's King James, but in the original stuff, how we must write it down. Look, who is this King James then? You see where it's going? It's going to Buddhism and all the way. So it is not the right person then. Okay, yes, of course. No, but okay. Then I found out because King James was literally in those days when they use letter E, So then you have King James. In this particular way, not with the J, because J was still not there, so they're using the E instead of James. So they're standing there, E, and then the A, and the M, and the E, and the S, because the E was then used everything, but there was no J there. So then you have this. You see? Then you see now it is translated to James. The Scotland, James the first from England, and he was the one who was King James, the version of KJV, and it was started in 1611. You see, so since 1611, King James kicking in with the translation. You see, and everybody used almost the King James stuff. Okay, but who was before this stuff? Yeah, it was Johannes de Gutenberg, and Tyndale, and Geneva. Those are the ones, And if you really read that scripture and stuff, it is slightly different as King James has translated this stuff, because King James has translated it from a translated stuff, And those other persons before him was translated it really from Aramaic, Greek, or Hebrew, straight up from the original text. You already know, because the Greek and Hebrew in those days were very related, not in language, but with understanding, Not how they follow this stuff. The Greek, I don't talk about that stuff, but because if you look to the bloodlines in the stuff from Esau and Jacob and Japhet, all that kind of stuff, there's Greek also. So they have it. So Greek is very it's like family, But yeah, you see. So look if I do this stuff before King James. Look, before King James. You see? Look, what do we have by there before King James? let me show you the picture, because I found it already, this stuff. Hold up, where it was. Let me share so it's. Let me show you. Oh man, bear with me. Hold up. Where's the page? I cannot find it, man. Hold up, because I should have it, you know. Yeah, I guess it is here. Okay, before King James, you see, there was the Bible translations, you know, from like the Geneva Bible, you know, and as well other stuff, you know. So, but look, I have to make a screenshot, because yeah, you already know how it goes when you don't find and so look, when you should like King James is you see, English translation for Hebrew name Yahushua. You see, when you translate it in the original, when there was no letter J or E or letter I mean, and letter E, and that stuff. So when you do how I shared it before in the beginning in this video, you see, and then you come out about the transliteration or repetition in the Hebrew name of Yahushua or Yahushua, which is the original name of the Messiah. You see, King James. But we have seen what is really what that stuff. You see, but yeah, you see, crazy, yeah, isn't it? But hold up, so, but yeah, what I want to show you is that stuff. Yeah, where have I put it? I don't know. But yeah, like I cannot find it now anymore. But yeah, there was just a list about some translations that there was before King James, you know, and that was Geneva, Tyndale, and Gothenburg. And Gothenburg was one of the first of them. Gothenburg was started in 1453, you know. There was let me search it in that way maybe. Okay, look at the first Bible. Yeah, there was a codex, we already know, the Sinaiticus, the 4th century, the codex, you know. The most of the codexes from Alexandria and stuff. The Septuagint, you already know, that kind of stuff. And the Sea Scrolls, and all that kind of way. And the Hebrew Bible, you see, this between the 500 and 900 CE, authorized version of the Hebrew Bible taught the earlier fragments exist. You see, still this day. So printed Bible, the first major printed book in the European was the Gothenburg Bible. You see, and they say 1455, but I say 1453. And you see, and this one seems like that this one is the most accurate of them all. You know, yeah, of course the Septuagint also, but this one is more translated from the original script, like the pictographic, you know, the Hebrew stuff. So look, when I go to the Gothenburg stuff, and yeah. The Gothenburg Bible by Johannes Gutenberg. You see, when you go down to the stuff, and now you see the Gutenberg Bible was by Johannes Gutenberg between the 1452 and 1455. And yeah, they make this stuff, you know. So, and as well, you can of course on internet archive, you can yeah, free download the stuff. But yeah, so I was just really reading that stuff, and I thought, man, this is what's up, man. But I thought, okay, let me just buy this stuff, you know, because I want it, you know. But yeah, look the price, you see, $250, and it's only just volume 1 and 2, you know. And look how it is written. Don't this seem familiar? Yes, from the Vatican stuff what they have there in this particular way. Look, when you put more an imagery, I'll show you what's up with it. You see, look how it look like. It's really written down in this stuff. You know, you see how it is with the 4 columns stuff. They took it from him, the column stuff. You see how it is here in the stuff. Yeah, exactly. You see, so in Amazon, okay, click on Amazon, maybe you want to buy it there, but look here, you're gonna be crazy. You see, whoa, $900. You see, why they do it so expensive? They know, because the truth is in here, you know. Of course, we all know, you know, they still make mistakes, you know. But yeah, Yahuwah maybe used this person to write this stuff down there, you know. And later, King James was later, after 200 years later, you know, because this is for 1400s, you know, in the year 1400, and King James comes 200 years later. So in the 200 years, there are so many changed, so many scriptures was already loaded up, like that stuff. Like for example, I must show you. So look, this the Tyndale Bible. You see, it's almost the same thing. Like in those days, it was normal with picture and like Goddard writings and stuff. You know, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, Geneva Bible's almost like this stuff, but more like yeah. But look, this stuff is from 100 years later. You see, that is 100 years later. This Tyndale, and then you have also Thomas. No, I don't mean that stuff. Come on. No, I don't mean Thomas. Yeah, there was another translation of that stuff, like I said, Tyndale and Geneva and Gothenburg. And before that, you have also another one. Who was that man? I couldn't remember that guy. What was it? But yeah, this was also an yeah, how you call it? Another translation before KJV, and so it was later. You know, after the KJV, I mean. So yeah, look, maybe you can see here. Let me see. Okay, yeah, the Dead Sea Scrolls we already know. Oh man, if you want to search it, and then you cannot find it, man. But it was like an old man that's standing there on the front on the page, with his hand above the row of the earth and stuff, on his writing on the front cover, you know. His name is very identical, but when you wanna talk about it, it seems like yeah, I cannot find it, you know. So. Let me see. Oh yeah, of course, the Wycliffe's Bible. This is from the 1300s. You know, it's even before the Gothenburg. You know, and this one's got my attention, also. You know, and yeah, because you see the Wycliffe Bible, the 1300s, and then we have the Tyndale, you see, but it took out this Gutter, you see, it took out this Gutter one because that was from the 1400s. So they have the Wycliffe, then the Gutter, and then the Tyndale, you see, and then the Coverdale, and the Matthew, Geneva, Bishop Bible, Deuteronomy Bible, Rimes Bible or some, I don't know what it is, but yeah, this one. So yeah, maybe I can see the cover from the Bible that I know, what I want to show y'all. But before I show you the thing what I mean, I must show you which guy I mean about. That guy who was standing there on the front with the earth in his hand and stuff, and you can name it. I think it is Tyndale, yeah. I guess it is Tyndale, maybe. I guess. I don't know. Still not? No. No. But yeah. You get the picture. Do you see? So yeah. So literally that like the stuff like the earlier just had from the 1300s, the Wycliffe's Bible, like this stuff. This. From the 1380. You see? There was let me show you. See, it's the same thing. How they do with the Gotthard's Bible from the 1400s, you know. In those days, you know, they read it all down for how you're supposed to do. Write it down, you know. So this stuff is translated from the original, you know, from from Hebrew, Greek, and Aramaic, you know, and they have translated in English, you know, and that's why I said King James is never be accurate, you know. And they said, yeah, they have a good slang and they have a good translation because this and that, and because many of people using this stuff. And I've learned as many people use some stuff, it is corrupted, man, because they never gonna search further because so many people using it. So let me do it also. You see, then you're stuck. You know, it's the same thing from the narrow path is small, and the broad way and the way to destruction is big. You know, it's the same thing. There's only few will find it. It's the same thing with this scripture stuff, you know. But yes, like I earlier said in the video, we have the rule HaKodesh no matter which one we use. I know. But yeah, you see, so the Wycliffe Bible is also interesting. So when you want to buy this here, this normal price $50, or even the kind of version is just 80 cents. You know, it's crazy. But yeah, remind me now of. Let me show you. Yes. Finally, I found it. What I just said. So here, the Tyndale and the Wycliffe and the Gutter Bible and the Geneva Bible. You already know this one. I mean, the Luther Bible. You see the Luther. Also the Luther. You see the earth with his hands and stuff on the cover. This stuff is also an interesting one. But yeah, but this one is translated from another stuff, you know. But yeah, as you can see, it was from the 1500s again, you know. So everything before, like the Wycliffe and the Gutter, those two are the ones, you know. And of course the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Codex and the other ones. But this one is really translated from that stuff, how you must pronounce it good, you know, and stuff, you know. And this, yeah, is also great to have and stuff, because this was even before Geneva, you know. Geneva comes later because it was in 1550, 1550 or 60. You know, I got even myself a Geneva Bible here, and yeah, but this stuff you see. But now I'm gonna show you, because since the Wycliffe is the oldest from a normal standard book, you know, I'll show you. Yeah, look, they have even an app for the Wycliffe Bible from the 1380, you know, from the 1300s, you know. So, look, Genesis, or well-known Bereshit, you know, begin, it means that stuff. 1, and there you will see, look what is said. Yeah, okay, we got some ads and stuff, you already know how it goes, blah blah blah, hold up, see, you can see now, look this. In the beginning, Alua made Nacht, the Shamahim, and Haverest. Forsooth, the Haverest was idle, and void, and the darkness were on the face of the depth, and the Ruach of Yahuwah was born on the waters, or the Ruach of Alua was born upon the waters. And Alua said, let be made, and the light was made. And Alua said, light be made, and the light was made. And Alua saw the light, that it was good. And there parted the light from the darkness. And he called the light day, and the darkness night. And the appetite and the Mortite was made one day. And Alua said, the firmament be made in the midst of waters, and apart waters from waters. And Alua made the firmament, and parted the waters that were under the firmament from the waters that were on the firmament, or that were above the firmament. And it was done so. And Alua called the firmament Shamahim, and the appetite unto the Mortite was made the second day. Forsooth, Alua said, the waters that under the Shamahim be gathered into one place, and a dry place appear, and it was so done so. And Alua called it the dry place Haverest, and he called it the gathering together of waters the seas. And Alua saw that it was good, and said, the Haverest bring forth green herb, and making seed, and apple tree make fruit by his kind, whose seed be in itself on the Haverest, and it was done so. And the earth brought forth green herb, and making seed by his kind, and the tree making fruit, of each having seed by his kind. And Alua saw that it was good. And the appetite and the Mortite was made the third day. Forsooth, Alua said, lights be the made in the firmament of the Shamahim, and part they the day and night, over the part of the Yom and Laila, and be tie into the signs and times and days and years. And shined those in the firmament of the Shamahim, and the light in the Haverest, and it was done so. And Alua made 2 great lights, and the greater light that it should be before the day, or before the Yom, and the lesser light that it should be before the Laila night. And Alua made stars, and set them in the firmament of the Shamahim, that they should shine on the Haverest, and they should be before the Yom, and to the Laila, and should part light and darkness. And Alua saw that it was good. And the appetite and the Mortite was made the 4th day. Also Alua said that the waters bring forth the reptile, either a creeping beast of living soul, and the volatile either bird flying above the Haverest under the firmament of the Shamahim. And Aloha made the knocked great wells, and each living soul unmovable which the waters have brought forth in their kinds. And Aloha made the knocked each volatile by his kind. And Aloha saw that it was good, and baruched them, and said, Wax ye, and be ye multiplied, and fill ye the waters of the sea, and the birds from the multiplied on the rest. And the appetite and the mortide was made the 5th day. And Aloha said, The earth bring forth the living soul in his kind, work beasts and reptiles, either creeping beasts and unreasonable beasts of the earth, of all the rest, by their kinds, and it was done so. And Aloha made the unreasonable beasts of the earth by their kinds, and work beasts, and each creeping beast of the earth in its kind. And Aloha saw that it was good, and said, Make we man to our image and likeness, and be he sovereign or king to the fishes of the sea, and to the volatiles of the Shamahim, and to the unreasonable beast of the Hararest, and to each creature, and to each creeping beast, or each reptile which is moved in the Hararest. And Aloha made of knocked a man to his image and likeness. Aloha made knocked a man to the image of Aloha. Aloha made of knocked them, male and female. And Aloha baruched them, and said, Increase ye, and be ye multiplied, and fill ye the Hararest, and make ye its subject, and be ye masters or Adonais to the fishes of the sea, unto the volatiles of the Shamahim, and to all living beasts, that they be moved on the Hararest. And Aloha said, Lo, I have given to you each herb bearing seed on the Hararest, and all trees that have in themselves the seed of their kind, that they be into meat to you, or that would they be into, or I must say, let me say it again. And Aloha said, Lo, I have given to you each herb bearing seed on the earth, or the Hararest, and all the trees that have themselves in the seed of their kind, that they be into akla to you, that means meat. Unto all living beasts of the Hararest, unto each bird of the heaven, unto all the things that have moved in the Hararest, and in which the living soul they have to eat. And it was done so. And Aloha saw all things which he had made, and they were full good. And the appetite and the mortide was made the 6th day. Therefore the Shamahim and the Hararest be made perfect, and all the ornament of those or them, and Aloha fill it in the 7th day his work which he made, and he rested in the 7th day from all his work which he had made, and baruched the 7th day, and hallowed it, for it is the day Aloha ceased of all his work which he made out of knocked, that he should make. These be the generations of the Shamahim of the Hararest in the day wherein Yahuwah Aloha made the heaven and the Hararest, and each little tree of the earth before the sprang out of the earth, and made each herb of the field before that it burgeoned, for Yahuwah Aloha had not reigned on the Hararest, and no man there was word or might work, to have rest. You see, everybody, what I'm talking about? This is slightly different, man. This is more sounds accurate. You see, they're talking about some words and stuff, and more shortened in a way as well. And yeah, and as you can see from this, the 7th day is his rest day, And if you love him, then you do his stuff, you know. And that is why we do his resting 1 day in a week, because he knows we do our work. You do your work 6 days, and 1 day you do the rest. If you do, if you have no job, nothing at all, yeah, you can do the every day rest then. Yes, and that's the excuse what they say. Yeah, we all day every day resting in Yahusha. Yes, we do, yeah. But how you can rest from your work if you're still working and do all those things, you know? So that's why we must take 1 vacation day. That's why more said it. He's really saying take 1 vacation day each week, you know? And that's it. And that is what he made about rest, you know? But yeah, as you can see, this is not the video what I'm talking about, but this is the video what I want to say, you see? So this Wycliffe stuff is really, I like it, you know? So it seems like that is, we're missing something, you know? So it seems like, yeah, of course we must learn the Abari tongue. We don't even touch any English stuff, because they still talking about morning and stuff, because morning is also a corrupted word, you know? You cannot say the stuff. But you see, get the picture, you see? So it is a slightly, in my opinion, much better than the KJV, you know? You know, and that is what I like about this stuff, and because it is 15 of the 1300s, you know? And the Geneva Bible is also a good one, because this is the 1500s, you know? And then later, King James is kicking in with the 1611 KJV Bible, we already know, with all those books there still standing in the stuff. Oh yeah, when we talk about books, let me see which books they have here. Because, yeah, I see they have the Old Testament, as you well known, and the New Testament. And if they have Apocrypha books, that's is also in a translation in Hebrew that means hidden or take away, you know. They call it hidden books, and hidden. Apocrypha means hidden. And in those days they didn't hidden this stuff. They only want to translate what Yahuwah has given them those people, the vessel what they Yahuwah pleased to choose, and let them all write it down, you know. When the government and the politicians and Freemasonries and etc all the who against Yahuwah and stuff, yeah, they make religion and stuff, and they took those books out, and then they give it a name from, yeah, it's appropriate books, and once you read the stuff, it is will be not verified because it is not original, yeah, to let you stay away from the truth. That's why they did that stuff, you know. But we already know that stuff. We have the Ruach HaKodesh, no matter which part we use. But yeah, but look, if Old Testament, okay, yes, okay, this is the original books, but we know, yes, Ezra, okay, Ecclesiastes, Isaiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, okay, Tavania, Haggai, okay, Malachi, and all stuff for Zechariah. Okay, just really the standards. Okay, and the new is, oh, you see, there you have it, the new. This is how to call the New Testament. The Laws of the Manasseh, the Third Ezra, Tobit. You know, those books are not standard, you know, in the stuff anymore. And the Tobit is as well a great book. I love Tobit, man. This book is so full of wisdom and stuff about the fish. You can cut the fish, and it's good for your things. I don't know what this is all about, but it's great stuff. And Judith as well is a good book. An edition of Esther as well, Wisdom of Solomon, okay, we already know. And Sirach, Ecclesiastes, you know, the Burak, we already know this stuff. And the Palace of Assyria on the Songs of the Tree. Never heard of this book. Wow. And Epistle of Jeremiah, Daniel and Susanna, okay. Daniel, Bel on the snake instead of the dragon, okay. Here you have it, the first Maccabees, that's what we want to know. And the second Maccabees is talking about keeping the feasts and the laws and everything. It is Deuteronomy chapter 28, it's the same thing about this whole book. And then we get the stuff what we already have in the new. You see, so those books really that took them. Nah, come on, man. And now we have Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and then again deeds, the Acts of the Apostles. And then we have Romans, First Corinthians, Second Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, and then Laodiceans. Okay, never heard of that. First Thessalonians and Second Thessalonians, yeah, and prophet books. No, there's also the Third Thessalonians stuff. But yeah, First Timothy, Second Timothy, Titus, Philemon, Hebrews, James, First Peter, Second Peter, First John, First John, Second John, Third John, and Jude, and Apocalypse, Revelation of John. Yes, you see. So there you have it. So like I earlier said, this is much greater than the KJV, you know, because KJV has maybe more English understandable stuff, where people think from, oh yeah, that is why they stick to this stuff, and maybe because it's like they're popular, because many people said, yeah, I got the King James, oh yeah, let me buy a King James also, you know, and other people was coming new in the faith and stuff and said, hey man, which translation you good, which book is for good, oh yeah, you can start with the King James, man. It's always like King James, King James. They're all acting like that King James is the one, you know. But I prefer that this Wycliffe stuff is the one, you know, and this Gutenberg, you know, and this and a Luther Bible as well, you know, and the Geneva. Those are my the ones, you know, and then I choose that stuff from KJV, you know. And even before this, all this stuff as well, the Septuagint Bibles as well, good, you know, and the Codex and all this kind of stuff, and the Dead Sea Scrolls, of course. But beside that, this is the one, man. You see it? What I'm saying? So I think we need to do our homework slightly again, daily. That's what Yahushua said. Yahuwah, study His word daily, you know, and ask, knock, receive, and you find it. If everything once you search for the truth, you know, because the Ruach leads to the truth. And what is the truth? Obedience. And what is obedience? To keep in His Torah and everything what His word is saying, you know. And then He will lead you to the truth. Otherwise, He let you lead you to nowhere. Then your own self will lead to the nonsense, you know, to abomination stuff and stuff that you think that is good. And there you have it. You must not think what you think that is good. You must think what Yahushua revealed it to all of us is good, and that is His word. And once you're reading His word, then you can come across this type of stuff, you know, because once you want to learn Ambari, because Yahuwah is also an Ambari name. It is not English, you know. It is not Latin. It's not Greek. It is Hebrew Ambari. So there you have it. So yeah, that is why I love to search deeper to this stuff. Of course, I love a scripture when it's only using a Yod Hey Vav Hey stuff, like you know, that stick man, the nail, the hands. That's kind of stuff scripture I like. Only the Hallelujah scripture have that stuff in 4 different languages in one book. There's $500 as well. And of course the Jeff A. Banner, you know, have the book as well, from only the 5 books from the Torah, you know. But it is not translated in Ambari ABC letters, you know. For example, from Barashit, Bashahamahim, that kind of stuff. Then I like it. And then under that stuff, then must be standing from what you just say right here now, from Life Shamahim means heaven, then you must write it down there, heaven. So they have 3 lines for one the stuff, you know. That is called the interlinear Bible, interlinear Bibles. They have that stuff, but that is the Hebrew stuff, the modern Hebrew, you know, or the Palibu Hebrew. They have that as well. I like it, but I'm like more the pictographic, because you know, yeah, that is the accurate as you know, because yeah, Palibu Hebrew also, but yeah. But the interliners one, what is available as well, they have volume 1, and volume 1 is just like $200 as well, you know. Then you have a translation in English, or I mean, you have the Palibu Hebrew standing there from Yahuwah, Barakat, standing there, and under the that's standing there in Palibu, and under that Palibu is standing there Yahuwah Barakat, and under that Yahuwah Barakat they were standing there Yahuwah will bless you. Standing there, you know. Then you have four things, of three things, in one section, you know. And then you read number 2, and they're standing Yahusha Barakat, and then standing there under the stuff from Palibu Hebrew, Yahuwah of Yahusha Barakat, and under that Yahusha Barakat standing there, Yahusha will bless you, you know, this kind of stuff. And then you go to section 3, they're standing there Alua, blah blah blah, all this kind of stuff. That's nice, you know, but I want to see that in pictographic, you know, because pictographic is the stuff, and otherwise, yeah, they cannot find the stuff. So it seems like that we must learn the scripture of his words, his ways, so that you don't even have to know that of see in transliteration, you know, or in translation, you know, so that you can read it for yourself. So once you have know all this alphabet from the for Aleph, Bet, and all this kind of stuff, this way, you know, and the Dalet and all those words, and Bet and Sheen, Ayin, and all the way. Then you know the words, then you know the letters, and then you can read it for yourself and even write it for yourself down. And then you can search on the internet for which words you need to type in and where you can find it, you know, from that type of scripture. And then you come across to the Dead Sea Scrolls, because on the Dead Sea Scrolls is that stuff writing down on stones, you know, and those people who write it down translated that stuff. They have translated in some in them in pictographic and some in Palibu Hebrew, you know. And after that, then they do put it in Aramaic or Latin and Greek, you know. And then after that, they put it in English. What we're talking about here, like this stuff, what we have here, you know. But some English people can really write it, speaking everything that stuff. And this Wycliffe person is one of them. He can do that stuff, but he knows once he's writing this stuff down, only certain people can understand, you know. So he want to make sure that everybody will understand. So that is why he was doing it in an English way, you know, instead of some people who never can understand the language at all, and they try to still translate the stuff from other people, from like this. Maybe they're gonna say, "Hey man, Wycliffe, can you please explain to us what is standing there?" Yeah, they're standing there. A tree is by the water, and then you get strong. Oh, okay, yeah. A tree by the sea, and you get very powerful. Oh yes, we receive it. You see, they receive it wrong. He said a tree by the river, and it gets powerful. The stuff. You see, and they receive it. Oh yeah, by the sea, and power. So you see, it's crazy. So because they don't understand the stuff, you know, and maybe because he was passed away already there, so they and the moderns kicking in as well, because the language was changed as well, with more slangs, different stuff, and blah blah blah. Even till this day, you know, every time the writings is changing, you know. I don't like that stuff, but yeah, the Abari will never change, because you know who this says as well, Yahuwah. His word will never change. So which words we must read them? His word, his language, the tongue of creation, you know. And that's the Abari tongue. You already know. Yod hey hu hey wav hey. You already know. Yadi Yahuwah Yushalua. All day yafirei, man. Okay, that's what I want to share, everybody. I hope this has helped y'all, everybody. Just for information. You can do whatever you want to do with it. But yeah, man. But I'm still searching for more books from the pictographic stuff. I love the pictographic. You already know. The stuff I have already on my website. Many books for free. You can download this PDF for study, reading, whatever you want to do with it. Just go to www.yahoostow.com. yahoostow.com. When you go there, click on the menu, click on the copy study, and then it will open for you everything what you need to know for your study journey with Yahuwah Yahusha Alua. Everything you have there. Dead Sea Scrolls, the pictographic Bibles, the name meanings, the Father's Laws, videos about explanations and writings and readings. Everything what you need to know, it is just there. And much more on that website. You can find literally everything what you need. And yeah, much love everybody. This is Hoesja Minor Production Supply your Jehovah's Word in your life, and deny yourself daily and pick up his stake. And follow Yahushua HaMashiach. Walk as he walked. Much love. Yada Yahuwah. Yahuwah is Hoesja in the flesh. All day, every day. This is Hoesja Minor Production.